It should be noted that this entire thing was written and audioed before the Luna 7 trailer, so certain parts may be a bit wonky in trying to make it make more sense with the additional information.
The Nation of Wisdom in Genshin Impact, otherwise known as Sumeru, is the nation of Dendra, which houses one of the most important things for the ecosystem of Teyvat, the Irumsul tree connecting the ley lines. These ley lines protect the wealth and knowledge of the world, which are harnessed by blossoms or outcrops known as wealth and revelation. The treasures within can either satisfy a person's monetary desires or help recall experienced perils, depending on the outcrop. Not only is Irumsul connected to these outcrops, but also to the trees inside of the mains for artifacts, weapon ascension materials, and talent books. This can be inferred based on the descriptions for Valley of Remembrance, which is after a period of time the people of the continent lost track of the path, and the Forsaken Rift domain. It is said that in ancient times, people would venture into the valley to seek out the ancient tree on the altar, alongside the fact that the trees in these domains are white, the same color as Irumsul's tree in the Sumeru Archon Quest. Now, if we look at the frost-bearing tree from Dragonspine, I want you to tell me what you see. That's right, it's the same color-esque as the Irumsul branches we've looked at so far. Except for one small thing. It's red, not blue. One of the rewards for the frost-bearing tree is Wind Glider, concealing snow. The description of which reads, "We shall rise again, for the tree has sprouted anew, for a time of greater trial is coming." Returning to the Irumsul tree, from the promotional teaser, we know that Dottore is planning to burn the world tree, and is asked to the opposite of a frost-bearing tree's snowstorm. With that information, we can take a detour to the World Quest series in the footsteps of the Chosen of Dragons. We'll explore Fernatland in order to embark on the trail of the ancient Sacred Mountain with our friend, the little buddy, who I will be referring to as Lumi, as that's what I named him. Sorry, Linnea, but I was first. In this quest series, I believe around Urcha Canatlan, we are told that the ley lines existed before the Heavenly Principle's arrival, but they altered the ley lines in an effort to combat the corrosion of the abyss in the world of Teyvat. Since the ley lines are part of Irumsul, and they existed before the Heavenly Principles, I don't think it's the ultimate stretchy stretch of all stretches to believe that mayhaps Irumsul existed before the False Sky Firmament. The unified civilization of Teyvat stems from the earliest days of humanity. However, in the earliest days of Teyvat's history, there were no humans, but instead dragons. These dragons were governed by a group known as the Seven Sovereign Dragons, one for each of light's harnessable elements. These dragons were sufficiently high-tech, perhaps even more technologically advanced than some of the nations these days. M to the R to the N to the D to the S to the T to the A to the D to the T. That's right, Munstead. I'm shading you. Since the ley lines were created by the dragons, I feel it's nowhere close to a stretch anyone's weight that the Irumsul tree was also created by the dragons. Yeah, everyone knows who's my guy. You're kinda late to the party. Except you clearly have no idea where I'm going with this, me. Now then, if we look at the traveler's character details, we are met with the line, "The Keeper is fading away, the Creator has not yet come, but the world shall burn no more, for you shall ascend." Most people take the Keeper to mean the sustainer of heavenly principles, but after much consideration and heartfelt confusion, I've got a new idea. The Keeper of which we're talking about is actually the Irumsul tree. Another point to back up this claim is the description of the Cryo Ascension gem, where specifically its third and final line which reads, "Then burn away the old world for me." The Irumsul tree is also referred to as the world tree. To burn the world is to burn the Irumsul tree. Now, I find this pretty clear to think that this is Roots' instruction to El Dottore, if not all of the Fitui, the order for her rebellion against the divine. Now that leaves two questions regarding the full crew. Irumsul is the world that will burn no more, then who is the Creator who has not come? And what is Ascension? Ascension, rising or increasing to higher levels, values, or degrees. Genshin Impact takes its fair share of inspiration from the old demonology book, The Ares Gautier. Though try as I might, I can't find any links between the concept of Ascension and the Ares Gautier. That's what I would say if I wasn't a genius. Because demons, summoning demons. When you summon a demon, you typically would summon them from hell, which is geographically located below. so to summon a demon is to increase their geographical height, taking them to new levels. The Traveler and the Abyss sibling in Genshin Impact were summoned to Teyvat, most likely by something to do with Conria, or the Temple of Space. Watch that video, meaning that the Ascension referred to in the character details is also the very Ascension that brought them to Teyvat.
To understand properly, we need to return to Dottore,
the heretic who became a false god in the world of Teyvat. Not the first heretic, mind you, because the original false god in Teyvat is the heavenly principles themselves, the ruler of reason, of which we have already established is not the creator of the Irumsul tree, so why bring them up now? Because the heavenly principles by virtue should be a false god, a heretic of sorts, much like my man Dottore. Yet that's not what they're largely considered by the systematic view of Teyvat, being seen as the holy or heavens. If the original descender, the heavenly principles, whoever or whatever they are, can rise to such a throne, then why shouldn't a human be able to? I have come to believe that this is the view that Dottore holds. The heavenly principles themselves are a heretic, much like himself. So why shouldn't he be able to take a place on the throne, to become the creator essentially? Now, do I think that Dottore will succeed here? No. No, I do not. Instead, I think the creator that has not come is in fact the Traveler. The Keeper is fading away. The creator has not yet come.
The memories of Irumsul are fading away, but the creator will come.
The world shall burn no more, for you shall ascend.
The Irumsul tree will burn no more, for the Traveler will become the creator. I will be playing for the Archon Quest on the 10th of May, probably around like 2 PM ACDT. It would be nice to see you there. In the meantime, please do consider subscribing. I suffer as every other human does with a lack of motivation, so when subscribers go up, more motivation is brought, therefore more content in a higher quality. So really, you're the person who'll be getting something out of it, so do it.